Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Hey, Frederic, how are you?
Hello, Erskine. Just fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. Let's just give our attendees a couple of minutes to see everybody's joining. Numbers are going up, which is good. How are you today, Frederic?
Just fine. Yeah.
Are you also in Barcelona?
Yeah, it's full on summertime now.
Yeah, really nice. All right, we already have 21 people joined. I think we can get started. 23 now. Yeah, I think we're ready to roll. So welcome everyone again to today's webinar. Today's topic is the impact of live video shopping in the changing times of the retail industry. We're going to share with you our recent retail research that we conducted just to see how this live video shopping or live commerce trend is developing and how consumers are reacting to it and what are the basically consumer expectations around this topic and how we can help retailers transition to live video shopping. Today with us, we have Frederic. Hi, Frederic.
Hello, Erskine.
He's
Hello,
our
everyone.
Chief Strategy Officer. His background is Swedish, but he was educated in the US at MIT. I'm pretty sure everybody heard of this university. He's been with the company since the beginning of last year, just before everything has changed. So being a strategy officer wasn't really an easy task in the changing times of Corona. His background is very strong in strategy, consulting, digital business, and media. He's bringing a lot of experience to the table and to our company. And now he's responsible for the future vision of Wisby and for the ecosystem of collaborations with commercial and technology partners. Thank you, Frederic, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's just jump into the first topic, a bit of an introduction to this live video shopping, which is set to be the future of retail, right?
So they say. I mean, the idea of live video shopping or incorporating video functionality into a shopping experience is something that is considered to have started in China about 3 years ago. And their live shopping already makes up more than 10% of e-commerce sales by volume, while US and European markets are catching up fast. And I think the important thing here is that consumers really love it. It's something that we as users of the internet or consumers of any type of content really focus almost entirely on video. People don't read things anymore. They don't like static content. They really want to have something that is live, because that's what you're used to in your social networks or your interactions with consuming media, and that's now has flowed over into shopping. And I think also, it started, and people talk about very sort of trend-driven shopping, like impulse purchases or shopping as entertainment, and that's certainly the case, and that's very much something that it's quite visible in these in the live shopping format. But one of the things that we are seeing now is that it is moving into more reasoned purchases. So things that require explanation, or things purchases that have an emotional content, or a requiring an explanation from ideally from a human being, from a salesperson or an agent who has the ability to explain something like a refrigerator or a piece of consumer electronics, not just a stick of lipstick or a pair of sneakers.
Yeah, it's kind of like QVC TV. I'm sure you remember it from the back of the day.
Yeah. I'm old enough to remember QVC. Yes.
Well, me too. Don't worry. Okay, so we found some Forbes research that also supports this fact, because they found that brands are increasingly shifting their resources to live streaming video.
And why do they do that? First of all, live, the combination of live and video creates a far more engaging experience, because it's something that people really feel like they need to or can gain something from engaging with it, and that in itself generates returns for brand. The engagement, the ability to create leads, and also to incorporate in the right context influencer marketing, so you can have people that are influencing or pitching your wares, as it were. And in so doing, when you incorporate all the steps that take you all the way down the funnel, you're not only reaching the target audience, but you're also creating an additional revenue stream. So you're increasing sales, and with all of the abilities of doing so online, and without the limitations of physical stores.
Always open.
Always open, exactly.
Right, so let's jump right into the research results that we are all here today to learn about. So the topic of our research, as mentioned before, was the impact of live video shopping in these changing times and what this means for retailers. We have researched or interviewed 300 people based in the United Kingdom, aged between 25 and 65 years old. The gender split was 50-50, male, female. And also we made sure that all these respondents were in full-time employment and had a reasonably high income to have enough spending power, so that they would be relevant for this research. Why full-time employees? Because we assume that people who work full-time don't really have a lot of free time to walk around the shops and talk to different salespeople in different consumer electronics retailers, asking about a certain fridge and which ones they should buy, or a laptop or a camera. So they would be more likely to do all their research online. So this kind of tool, like live video shopping, would be very helpful for this kind of people. So let's look into quickly our key findings from this research, Friedrich.
Well, the key findings really are, and I'm not going to go into these numbers just yet because we have more detailed responses to specific questions later, but really the key findings are that people are really demanding. The expectations that are created by other online experiences that they have from the big social media platforms or other types of video content that they're consuming means that there is an incentive to get it right, and that people are demanding in that if they don't like the experience, or if the content is not authentic, or they don't feel connected to it, they will switch off immediately and go to another channel. And also they're expressing that their first choice is to interact with the brand that has live video. Otherwise, they'll go to another one. So it is a truly differentiating characteristic for brands in their sales process. And finally, they are expecting personal assistance. So consumers want to have somebody to talk to, either through chat, or ideally in a video interaction, a voice interaction with let's say a real human being, because they're looking for a shop-like experience. They want to talk to somebody who can explain the fridge or the whatever high-end fashion item that they're looking to buy. And they also want to see the product, not just read about it. And they want to be shown the product and explained, or being able to ask questions. So it's really, I mean, if you had to summarize it in one phrase, what they're looking for is an experience that is similar to walking into a nice shop, where the shopkeeper or the customer attendant is somebody who is skillful, pleasant, and willing to help them with what it is that they need.
Yeah, and one thing I forgot to mention, why did we choose the United Kingdom as a market to do the research in? It's actually a fun fact that the UK is considered to be the second largest e-commerce market in the world, followed by China. Surprisingly, US came in third. So that's why we decided to see, if consumers in a growing market as the UK, and the biggest market in terms of e-commerce consumption, would be interested in this. I'm sure every other market is going to follow very soon.
That's in terms of penetration, right?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. Right, so let's start with the research. We asked our audience, how often do you shop online?
Okay, so and here we can see that almost a third shop every couple of days. And by far almost 80%, shop at least once a week. So this is something that is frequent. And there's been a tremendous increase here. And also not seen here is that there's a whole population of people that had never done it before and now are doing it, and they're doing it often. So this is something that is very prevalent in people's lives.
Right. Next question. What channel did you use to complete the online purchase?
So the majority use an e-commerce self-service checkout, because what people buy through e-commerce as of today is still relatively straightforward stuff. They do, they buy their groceries, or they buy a pair of sneakers where they already know the brand or something like that. So that still dominates. But the growth, it comes in the areas where there's a live chat, or where live video shopping is already, if you combine the two, that's over 20%. This is where people are, where the growth is happening, and where people are more interested in moving towards.
Yeah, and interesting to know that where live video shopping is already an option, customers would be willing to use it. I found it really interesting. Just quickly, to anybody that has just joined the session, we are just reviewing our UK retail research findings. The next one, it was, if live video shopping was available, would it be your first choice to learn about the product and complete the purchase through this channel?
Okay, so here we're testing for bias in the previous question. If the e-commerce dominates simply because the live video shopping is not yet available. So when asked if it were available, 80% say yes, I would use it. So this is something that people really are interested in, and if offered it, they would take it.
Next question was, what would make the online buying process more enjoyable and faster for you? They could, it was a multiple choice question, basically.
Yeah, so you can pick all that apply. And here you see, it's very similar between detailed product information, being able to actually complete the purchase, and also speaking with an expert. So taking all three of those steps are equally important to actually get the explanation, interact with the person, and be able to go all the way down to the purchase.
Yes. Right. Next question was, why do you think it would be helpful for you to see the products virtually with live video shopping while shopping online? Again, multiple choice question.
Yeah, and here the highest number, 48%, say that it's very convenient for them to be able to ask questions. And that's, the idea of live. Otherwise, if that's the difference between watching a video, right, is that you can actually interact and you can ask the questions. And that's what if they would be able to speak with a sales advisor digitally, that's really what they want. And 35% say that the main benefit of live video shopping is that it brings the in-store experience online, because they're still reluctant to go to the shops following the pandemic, or as we are slowly emerging from pandemic. There's still certainly a reluctance to go into the shop, but they can get the expert help or advice that they need to make an informed purchase or an educated purchase.
Yeah.
And also, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, there's some other obvious benefits around saving time. You can get the product immediately, or they can see it in real time. So there's a whole bunch of reasons that are positive aspects to this for consumers that they see in this live video shopping.
I totally agree, especially with the save me time. Anything that saves us time is worth gold. Next question was, what are some of the things that prevent you from completing an online order form for a consumer electronic brand? I'm sorry.
Okay, here we're specifically looking at the purchase of a piece of consumer electronics. And there's some reluctance about the number of steps in the self-service checkout, but more importantly about being able to talk to a sales expert, or it's also a question of confidence or trust, because if you just looking at the static information on a website, you don't get that same amount of feeling of trust, especially for something that is a higher ticket item. So that people are more reluctant to spend a lot of money on something that they don't know so well, or feel like they're missing the ability to ask a question. And if they can't visualize it, they're likely to drop off and exit the process before completing the purchase.
I really like the low confidence due to lack of information versus big investment. I just think about my recent purchase. I needed a new fridge, and they're like, what, 5 to 800 euros, let's say, a good one. It's quite a big investment, and it's gonna last you a long time. How can I choose between all the different brands, different sizes, different models? Like, I would like to speak to somebody because it's an important investment, and I can't just buy it through self-service without doing all the research before.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I also bought a fridge not so many months ago.
Oh,
And the interesting thing is that, yes, there's a range, let's call the range between 5 and 800, as you said, but you need to talk to somebody to understand what is the difference between a 500 € fridge and an 800 € fridge.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you can't figure it out, because it's, and you get, it creates this insecurity and this sort of, oh my God, am I making the right purchase for something that's, it's a significant investment and it will last you many years.
Yeah, 100%. Next question was, if the online buying experience was not up to your expectations, including no online sales assistance, would this affect your purchase decision?
And here the overwhelming answer is yes, it would affect their purchase decision, and people are demanding, they're expecting this, and they say, if you don't treat me right, or if you don't give me the information I want, I'm not going to make the purchase. So that's part of the demanding characteristic of these consumers.
Yeah. Okay. Next question was, have you ever started your online research with one brand and then switched to another one because they offered an easier or more personal experience online? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think this is particularly interesting, because what this shows is that the purchasing funnel, or the customer journey or path that they take to purchase, is not linear. So new brands can come into their path or come into part of the decision process at different points in this journey. And the value that you bring in offering a good experience, or offering all of these things that we've been talking about, is not only at the top of the funnel or at the bottom of the funnel, it's all the way down, because people are willing to switch and say, hey, if I can't figure out what such and such a brand of fridge is like, I'll look at another one. And in an online experience, that switching cost is very low.
And last but not least, we have asked them, when it comes to choosing a brand, product, or retailer over another while shopping online, what service would be most helpful?
Okay, so what is it that really determines that people are willing to take that, accept that experience? And here it's really about, first of all, they're looking for this live shopping, they're looking for the real-time assistance, and they want to be able to speak to a person. Unassisted with a chatbot is less interesting, and that's, chatbots are great for customer service and for solving specific problems once you've bought the product, but they're really not so good for actually selling or purchasing. And 40% of consumers said it would be convenient to have real-time assistance. So they would actually like to speak to a person. They want to have an interaction with a person.
So it's no surprise that global brands, including Wisby customers, are achieving up to 5-time increase in sales during those live video broadcasts or live video shopping sessions, as we call them. And that's why at Wisby, we offer our solution that is called Whisbi Engage, where customers can engage with shoppers in real time and drive sales with interactive live streams directly from their websites. Here we explain briefly how Whisbi Engage is designed to inspire, educate, and entertain customers in a format that allows real-time brand interaction.
So what you're able to create here is a window on any location on the website where there's a broadcast event going on, or a broadcast channel, as it were, which doesn't have to be a specific event. It's actually better if it's more or less continuous. And what you can do in that channel is drive product sales through specific offerings with a chatbot. You can bring the in-store experience online in that you have somebody who's actually showing or illustrating what the product actually looks like, and you can engage with their visitors where the visitors can ask a question in a written way. The presenter sees that question and answered it by speaking. So it's an asymmetric thing in that the response is given by voice by the presenter, but they're able to place. You can ask the question by sending a text. And importantly here also is that you only see your own text. You don't see the text from everybody else. So the brand controls the overall experience. You don't have any. There's no risk of trolling.
Very important. And also, big advantage of Whisby Engage is that it's on your website, it's on your web properties. You own the data, you own the experience, everything is within your control, as opposed to hosting a live stream on free platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and so on, where you actually pay with your customer data.
And also from the consumer perspective, that is also more powerful because you don't have to be a member of any particular social network, or you don't have to download an app, or you don't have to make an appointment, or you don't have to give permissions. It's completely device and browser agnostic.
Yes, and GDPR compliant.
Of course.
Right, so would you like to tell us more about how brands can launch new products with video broadcasting?
So you can generate leads anywhere online, whatever mechanism through online advertising or any digital marketing channel that you choose. You use that to bring people to your website. You're in control of your marketing message. You get all of the customer insights of the data because the data lives on your own website. You can engage with web visitors at scale because it's one-to-many. There are no limits in the number of people that can watch these broadcasts, and you have the ability to capture the lead. So people can put in their phone number or a name, or you actually capture the data around from the visitor in real time, which can then be used for follow-up later or for an interaction immediately. Ideally immediately, because that's when the consumer is available and when they're interested is in that moment, rather than following up at a later stage.
Yeah. And here we have an amazing business case from one of our clients, Samsung. Please, Friedrich, can you explain to us how Samsung increased the conversion rate in their online store in Germany?
Okay, so what Samsung has done is they've created a series of broadcast channels, and that's actually not live. It's just a screen grab of the video. So what they have is a series of channels based on product lines where they are live streaming almost continuously, very close to continuously. So it's an experience that runs from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. where they're creating an in-store environment to go in and see a sales agent describing a product. And what that's led to they've been able to capture 4 million unique viewers, 28% of which engage with the interaction. So they ask a question, or they make a comment, or they participate in some way. And importantly, when they are broadcasting, the actual online conversion downstream of this, the online conversion goes up by 5 times, not 5%, 5x. So they're creating 5 times more sales online when the broadcast is running, and the average order value goes up 30%. So not only are more people buying, but each person is spending more, which is hugely valuable.
Yes, their project is really, I've been keeping a close eye on this project, and it's going really well. The customer is super happy. They're broadcasting daily about smartphones, tablets, TVs, home appliances, you name it. They're super engaged, and you can see the results speak for themselves.
And the interesting thing is that this is it's most effective when the let's call it production value of the broadcast is not very high. So it's a person explaining something. It's not a highly produced video in a fancy studio. It's something that happens either in a shop or in a very simple environment during during lockdown, there were agents actually running these kinds of broadcasts from their own homes. So they had a a background behind them, and then they were, doing the broadcast in a lockdown way. And what we find is that people engage with it the most, and it's most effective when it's really authentic, when it's somebody like you who's explaining it to you, not some overproduced Hollywood style video. It's actually just a person talking to you.
Very authentic.
Mhm.
Yeah, very nice. So we would like to ask you all a question here today. After hearing all the market trends about live video shopping, or as some people call it, live commerce, and also seeing the results, do you agree that this is a great tool for special sales periods such as Black Friday? I'm going to launch a poll now, and I would like for all of you to please answer if you agree or disagree with this statement, just to get kind of a feeling of today's audience and see what you guys actually think about this very interactive live video solution. And then we're going to go into a Q&A session where you can ask us any questions you might have, and we're going to be happy to answer. I'm just going to let it run for another 10 seconds or so. We already got 23 answers. Okay, I think we're okay. I'm going to end the poll now. Thank you everybody for answering. So actually 91% of today's webinar attendees agree with the statement that it would be a great tool for special periods such as Black Friday sales. And 9% don't agree. Would like to know why you don't agree, actually. That would be a nice topic to have a quick conversation about. So please, if you have any questions, just write it in the question box here, and I'm gonna get the notification, read it out loud, and Friederik and I are gonna be happy to answer.
I personally think that the thinking about these kinds of solutions for Black Friday is especially interesting, because we all have the let's call them old school images of Black Friday, of people rushing into stores and pushing and piling on top of each other, and all of this sort of chaos that was associated with Black Friday. And that's the kind of thing that in today's context is terrifying. So being able to participate in a big shopping events or this kind of stuff remotely is something that's extremely interesting.
I totally agree. All right, we have a question from anonymous attendee. What other clients do you have with interesting use cases?
We're running these kinds of broadcasts in a number of different sectors. In telecommunications, it's interesting because it gives the ability to, first of all, to create engagement around devices, or around, you can create something that is an interaction that creates a connection with the brand. So describing the new devices that are available, or this kind of stuff, but also around new services or new types of offerings, specifically in media, in cable TV, or these kinds of things. They use the broadcast a lot to explain the new service packages or these kinds of things. It's also really interesting for the automotive sector, because we're finding that more than 50% of the people who are in the market now for a car would prefer not to have to visit a car dealership.
Yeah.
So this would allow you to be able to do that, have that experience without actually going to the dealership.
Yeah, if you check our website under customers, we have a lot of business cases published there from the automotive industry. In particular, we, for example, have a nice business case with Hyundai, where they've seen a 3 to 1 return on investment for their live streams. And they've been running it, I think, for over a year now, and it's working really well for them. Other projects, I don't know, Friederik, if you can mention any other brands that we work with.
No, I think those are two really good cases. The telco case and the automotive case are really interesting. We're also doing some stuff with smaller brands in around electronics, or around sort of online services as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. We have another question from Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. What is technically required to get a live broadcast channel from Wisby on my website? It's a really good question.
Yeah,
it's actually not that complicated.
No, and that's the good answer, is that it's just a piece of JavaScript that sits on the website, on the specific pages where you want the broadcast channel to appear, and that's it. So it's really a very simple implementation. We can have it up and running and from one day to the next, and it doesn't require significant. It's not a significant impact on the part of the brand's technology teams.
Yeah, and considering, like, I think the biggest challenge usually for our clients is getting the presenter, but the rest is really easy. It's just an app. You need to download it on your device that you're going to use for streaming. It can be an iPad, an iPhone, an Android device, maybe a tripod that can hold the device, and you can go live in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and
really
one of those circular lamps that seem to be the requirement these days.
That's true. I have another question here from Helen. Thank you, Helen. What are the use cases for this live video streaming besides live shopping?
Well, really, it's about capturing people at the top of the funnel. So, and when we offer the content that people can interact with at the top of the funnel, then we can collect their data, either their phone number or their name or an email address, depending on the specific application, and then using a chatbot, we can qualify that lead and bring it downstream and later on into a one-to-one interaction if that's the appropriate use case as well. So we can accompany the customer all the way from the top of the funnel all the way down to the bottom, all the way including actually closing the purchase.
Exactly. That's how a lot of our clients are using this solution as well. I have another question from Jorge. Thank you for your question. Doesn't live video on Black Friday create a problem with data traffic on the page? Black Friday is synonymous with the quick purchases. Does the customer invest time in live video?
That's an excellent question, Jorge. I think it remains to be seen a little bit. And I think, if you're talking about low ticket impulse purchases, you can do live video to create noise and to create traffic and to bring people to the website, but you're not going to use it to close the sale. However, there are some significant ticket items that are sold on Black Friday as well. So that's when I think it becomes more appropriate.
Mm-hmm. I also think that brands could use live video shopping to the days leading up to Black Friday, like to create a hype, to explain their product better, to get people interested and informed about the products that are going to be in Black Friday promotions, for example. And regarding the data traffic on the page, our solution actually doesn't slow down your website. And we have done a lot of technical work in the background to improve, the loading performance, the amount of data that it's needed. You can even watch live stream just with a 4G on your phone. Like, you don't need to have a very strong connection or anything like that, and it definitely doesn't affect your website loading time. So I don't think there's any worries regarding that, Jorge. I hope this answers your questions. Another question from anonymous attendee: do you offer integrations with other platforms?
And also another person that asked the question if they integrate with CRMs, and the answer is yes and yes. So we're set up with APIs to connect to almost any sort of data management platforms, be it for CRM or be it for analytics and this kind of stuff. So we capture the leads and pass them into whatever platform that our clients want to use to handle them. So we're set up to do that.
Yeah. I also have a super amazing team of professional services. We offer so many customized integrations and developments for our clients because we mostly work with enterprises and we really understand that to be a part of their ecosystem, a lot of times we need to adapt our solution to fit their existing workflows. So our solution is perfect for this kind of enterprises, let's say. I have another question here from another anonymous attendee. How can I, as a customer, finalize the purchase with live video shopping?
Yeah, to finalize the purchase, in terms of the broadcast interaction, there is no, you don't finalize the purchase in a one-to-many interaction, but we can take them through a chatbot experience where we walk them farther down the funnel and into the ability into a place where they can close the deal, either assisted in an assisted way or in an unassisted way. We would capture the lead in the broadcast event and then move them into a one-to-one type of interaction, either assisted or an unassisted way to close the deal, to close the sale, excuse me.
Yes, I have another comment from Marta. Super interesting webinar. Thank you, Marta. And she's asking if she can have an access to this recording. I can answer this question. Of course you can. Every attendee or just a person that has registered for this webinar is going to receive an email, I think later today or tomorrow, with the link to the recording. So you can have a look, you can share it. It's also going to be available in our resources page on our website. So no worries at all if you want to, go again through the slides or have a look at the research a bit more into that. You can also download it from our website and read the whole analysis by yourself.
And if you have any specific questions and want to have a conversation with us, please reach out.
Yes, you can actually connect to our sales experts in real time directly from our website. We're all about live engagement and real time interactions. So is our website. Sorry, just one last question from Jorge. What kind of device can a seller use to demonstrate the product during live video? Some kind of harness with a camera?
Well, I think the easiest way to demonstrate a product is just using your own, just a mobile device. Any kind of a phone, mobile phone is what we find that works the best. However, in some cases in the automotive context, for example, where what you're showing is actually quite big, we can sometimes work without additional fixed cameras, but normally the easiest way to do it is just with a mobile device. And you don't really need a harness or anything like that. If there's something where you want to have a hands-free type of presentation, we would just use a tripod. But it's really very simple. We try not to complicate it too much.
That's true. All right, with this last question, we're going to wrap up this session. Thank you very much, everybody. Just to let you know, like I mentioned before during the poll question, our next session is going to be about the Black Friday period and how retailers can get ready for this year's shopping season using live video shopping and how it can help them increase their sales. We're also going to be sending out to all of you our new guide on this topic. So I hope that I see you soon and that you have enjoyed this session today with me and Friedrich. And thank you, Friedrich, for joining.
Thanks, Urshka. It's always a pleasure. And thanks to everyone for attending, and I hope you found this session useful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.